Hey guys, this is Sent Off Stories, and this is our first episode of our podcast. These are our hosts. I'm Ethan.
And I'm Ollie.
And this is just a little pilot episode. We'll see how we go with things. We're going to be practicing with some recording, as well as just our normal podcast setting. This will eventually go out on Spotify, on YouTube, Apple Music. We're not sure yet, but we'll take it as it comes. We're talking about multiple topics today, notably the Melville United Chatham Cup reaching the final. We'll talk about some general news in New Zealand football, some general news involving Inter Miami, as well as a little roundup of the first 2 weeks of the Premier League, and maybe even a little quick relegation and top four prediction. So, to start us off, Melville United making the Chatham Cup final.
Man, how cool is that, eh?
Let's work it out.
It's pretty crazy that a team that we know quite well is in the final of this tournament, which to me I think is a pretty big thing.
Yeah, it's huge. They haven't been in the competition. Well, they haven't won the competition since Waikato United and Hamilton Technical Old Boys, but these were clubs that were merged together to create Melville in '96. So as a club on their own, Melville United haven't won this competition yet. So coming through and winning it now would just be awesome.
And wait, who are they going up against? Is it Christchurch?
Yeah, Christchurch United.
They haven't won since '99.
Yeah, but they are just about there. They have 6 wins. Team with the most wins in the competition has 7. So if they win this, they'll go on to be the most recognised team in terms of the competition. But we'll see how that goes.
I mean, I think it makes it even more impressive than if Melville win.
Yeah.
Because that's a crazy achievement for them.
Yeah, both teams have a lot to fight for, I think. And even being this is the 100-year anniversary of the Cup. So if you want to win it, you'd want to win it now. It'd be the right time to do it, that's for sure.
Yeah, make a name for yourself.
So just a little overview of the Chatham Cup. We're only learning ourselves as well. I'd like to know a little bit more, go watch more games even. It's comparable to the FA Cup, I think, over in the UK. Similar to that in terms of the magic of the Cup. Small sides can come through and make waves in the competition and see how they go. 120 to 150 teams play in the Cup each year, so that's first team sides around the country. And yeah, again, this can just bring so much light to smaller sides. Team goes on and beats a big side and scores in the last minute. It'll be posted all over the New Zealand football socials. Yeah. They'll have a name around for a while. An interesting one is Quinton Kapara, your friend from high school.
Yeah, that's a bit of a story in itself, really. I wouldn't say I'm friends with, but I definitely know quite well of Quinton, who's a player in the first Melville team, who will probably be starting in the final, which is a crazy thing for him. I went to Hamilton Christian School, and I think he left the year before me. Yeah. And so through his other mates, he was a few years older than me, but I got to know him and meet him through them.
Did you guys ever end up playing together? Have you played football with him together? This could be in futsal or anything. No,
I haven't. No, because he did used to play for our first 11, obviously, but because he left the school the year before I joined. Yeah, I never got the chance to play with him, but he's an unreal player. Honestly, it's pretty cool. And even at the start of the year, we went to watch the Melville game.
Yeah, that's right. That was a great game.
He was versing the Wanderers first team. Yeah. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
He's everywhere, He's everywhere on the pitch. For someone that small, just to be roaming around, that technical, almost glimpses of Messi at that point. When you're that low, your center of gravity is that small, and you can just get down on the ball. We're watching a couple clips before filming, and geez, technical, very technical, taking all the free kicks, taking corners. The amount of times I saw a corner come in, that was just a complete nuisance for a keeper. Yeah. And the ball somehow ended up, even the first clip we watched, he's just whipped a free kick in, top left of the goal. Even at Waiheke United, that's such a cool place to go and score a goal.
Yeah, heck yeah. I think these kind of things as well, when you know people that are succeeding is always a bit of a wow moment. I know that is just in New Zealand, but the fact that it's the final on such a big competition and he gets to play in it, it's really cool.
So he used to play for Wanderers. We've got down here.
Yeah, I did a bit of research because I don't really know him too well either, but he started playing for the Wanderers in 2015, I believe. Yeah. And then kind of went between what was it, Wanderers and Wybop, their main team.
Yeah.
And then kind of worked his way up. He went through a couple other teams like Miramar Rangers and Tobacco Road. To be honest, I have not heard of them.
I have not heard of Tobacco Road.
Cool name, but
hold up, let me have a quick gander. Tobacco Road, what's that? FC?
Tobacco Road FC. It's on here.
They're in the States.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is an American team.
Plays in the USL League 2, the fourth tier of the American Pyramid. That's super cool.
Oh, yeah, so he got the transfer from the Wanderers first team in 2018 to go there early 2019.
Do you think that would have been a collegiate sort of thing, or just...
I don't know, Like, that's definitely when he had left school.
Yeah.
Like, he was older than that, but...
Interesting. So
Yeah.
I don't think they're a collegiate team. They just play in the pyramid over there, the American soccer pyramid. But yeah, that's interesting as. That's super cool just to even have the opportunity to go over, spend some time in the States, do what you love, play football. That's wicked.
It looks like he
honestly.
was only there for a bit over a year, kind of when COVID hit. It looks like he came back to join Melville.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
I wonder, like, the difference in quality between a team like that and then Melville.
It would be interesting, because the one people argue a lot is the Phoenix and UK. So the Phoenix get compared to, I think it's High League 2, Low League 1 over there, which I think that's quite cool because the English pyramid is recognised. It's historic. It's a huge thing. And I think the Phoenix have played friendlies against sides that are higher than them.
Yeah.
Pre-seasons against West Ham, notably, a few years ago.
Their first team.
Yeah, played against, it was a rotation side, I think, in pre-season, but
Yeah.
it was might have been Sydney FC, Newcastle, and West Ham. And there was a game, I went up with my dad and a couple of his mates, and I was young and my dad was giving some of the West Ham players, not West Ham players, some of the West Ham fans a little bit of banter and grief. And I was a little kid, I was like, oh, Dad, don't say that. All the English blokes are so scary.
What are they going to say?
No, but we ended up beating them. I think it might have been 2-0 in that game. But I'd really like to see the Phoenix go up against some of those sides that... It was 2-1, that's right. I think it would be interesting if the Phoenix went up against sides in High League 2 or early League 1. I think getting them up against sides like that are... those leagues are known for being gritty and grindy, and you've got to fight for wins. And a lot of sides kind of take away from their philosophy sometimes. Like you'll see teams get promoted from the National League, get into League 2, and they're like, we can't play free-flowing, moving football that got us up here. We'll have to resort to something else. And I think that's super interesting. And if the Phoenix had the opportunity to go in and have a chance against teams like this, I think it would be really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Going back to the Phoenix, in New Zealand football general news, we've seen that India Paige Riley played for the Football Ferns in the recent World Cup, had a great performance over in the 1-0 win over Norway, almost led us at points. Currently doesn't play for the Brisbane Roar anymore, recently just got a move to PSV.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a big move.
Yeah, big move. Straight out of the World Cup, all the way to Europe.
That's so cool.
I'm hoping more will come from that and more players will see go over there because that's such a cool step. Playing in your home country in the World Cup, getting the opportunity to showcase yourself to the world, and then taking that step to actually move over there and get a huge move to a top Dutch side is just, it's honestly special. It's super cool.
I think it's like when you see New Zealand players as well, like make it to other leagues and like notably big sides. Yeah. It's so cool, eh?
As well, going back to the Phoenix, they're trialling Fazil Ali, a 20-year-old attacker from Fiji. He played in the Under-20 World Cup for Fiji. No wins, no goals, 16 goals conceded. But, hey, if we've got a trialist coming in, a fast, agile, quick striker, could be a Ben Waine replacement, could see a youngster make some moves. And these players that come in on trial, they're hungry. They want to do things. You've seen a little bit of stagnant stuff from the Phoenix over the last couple of years, and Italiano coming in and looking to make fresh inroads. It's quite interesting. It seems like he wants to almost change the philosophy of the club,
like freshen it up a bit.
Yeah, we've got young players coming in and playing really well, like Luke Kelly-Heald, who played left back against Peninsula Power, I think it was in the last Australia Cup game we watched. He's a centre back. He's 6'5", and he's got the technical ability to play left back.
Yeah.
That's exciting stuff. Some of these young boys are looking good. As well as the Australia Cup, we've got the round of 16 game coming up this Sunday. That's against Melbourne City for the 3rd straight season now.
Man, what, in the round of 16 or just versing them?
Just in general.
Yeah.
So we've played them in those last 3 years. It's almost tradition at this point.
What were the scores of the other two? Because I haven't really kept up with the Phoenix in the last few years, to be honest.
I think we got past them once. But last year, I think we got knocked out of them in maybe the semis.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the semis we got knocked out by them, which is just... It's pretty crushing because we thought we were going on a good run. We weren't having a great season in the league, and then...
To be fair, making it to the semis, though,
I'm very interested to see what we do this year. I know people don't have much hope for the Phoenix often, but if things have changed and we're playing well, we'll see where we go with that.
I think it'll be a good game to sit down on Sunday, maybe with a bev or something.
Yeah, with a bevy after the football, after we get smoked 4-0 by a team in our Sunday league. Yeah. Go to the pub, come home, watch the footy. What a Sunday.
We'll have to get into that another episode talking about our team and the antics in our team.
Yeah, 100%. Our sound man, Lockie, he plays in goal for us.
Yeah.
What a keeper, what a player, what a guy.
Interesting team.
As well, we've got James McGarry, who played for the Phoenix. I think he didn't get enough opportunity while he was with us. I think it's hard to come in. He came in after Kakache left, which...
Oh, right. Big boots to fill.
Yeah, no one's really going to come in and do that. And we had Sutton playing as well, who's probably the more technical player, whereas McGarry's a bit more get in your face. He's fast. He can hit the ball, links up well. But... You can't undermine anything he's done now. He's playing for Aberdeen. He's just played in a European qualifier, in the Europa League qualifier, as a matter of fact, against Swedish side. I'm going to butcher this, Haken, I think. Absolutely butchered that. But he came on in the 70th, I think, this morning. His side were 2-0 down, and he fought back with them to get a 2-2 draw, playing left mid in a 3-back. That's cool. Really cool. And I think that probably is the best use for how he plays. He's a fast... gun player that just wants to get up and down the line. That's perfect for him.
Did he bag today?
Nah, he didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know what he did in the game, but he must have done something if you've come in like that. I've got it here. He came on for 20 minutes and made his passes, 2 out of 2 accurate crosses, 1 out of 2 accurate long balls. Just made a nuisance of himself pretty much, and that's what you have to do. It's his debut for a Scottish club playing in Europe. Like, that's people's dreams.
Yeah. How was their side holding up in the league, or is it just started?
I think they must have just started as well. 2 games in. Aberdeen are 9th out of 12, but they've had a draw, they've had a loss, and 3-1 versus Celtic. And drew 0-0 against Livingston.
I mean, against Celtic.
Playing Celtic in your second game of the season isn't exactly ideal, but we'll see how they go. I'll be keeping an eye on them this season, as well as I think there's a couple other Kiwi boys in the league. There's Devlin. Oh, he's not a Kiwi, but he's an honorary Kiwi after his time with the Phoenix. He plays for Hearts. He's scored a couple goals, I think, this season already. I think he might have bagged a brace on first game of the season. Let me have a look.
I'm going to intervene and say I'm wearing a Rangers shirt today from the Scottish League.
How'd you get that?
Oh, mate, I'll go on. I'll say it in this episode. Me and the boys, like Ethan and our two mates, Kyle and Jordan, we decided it would be a fun idea to do a mystery kit. I think it is just called mysterykit.co or something, whatever.
Have a gander. Look it up real quick.
But we decided to get some mystery kits just because we thought it'd be a cool thing for all of us to kind of do. And what we did is we bought 4, same size and everything, and we laid the boxes out on the floor and we spun a wheel to see which pick we got in order of like when we could choose the shirts. And I came up with this Rangers shirt, which I actually love. And now, day one Rangers.
Yeah, I don't think you've washed that since buying it.
I've washed it, don't worry. Day one Rangers fan. No, I'm joking. But yeah, we decided to do that. It's like $70 each or something.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Not bad.
I collect football shirts. Ollie's trying to get into collecting more of them. It's a cool way just to hang out with the boys as well. And we spin the wheel for everything. We'll be randomizing FIFA teams, playing pool, even the most pointless stuff. We'll just chuck it on a wheel and
What
go,
are we going to do for
leave
dinner?
it to luck. Yeah. Trialing some of the worst places in town for dinner and going, do we chuck that on there? Oh, we'll chuck that on there.
Make a share box. Man. But yeah.
Going back to the Scottish League as well, there's St Mirren have Alex Grieve up front for them. Young Kiwi, he's been scoring goals and there's just a couple players I'll keep an eye on here. It'd be interesting to watch a couple of the games even this season.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm going to have to start watching Rangers now.
Oh, we're going to have to watch the old firms, I think. That's a big one we need to start watching because even just for the challenges, I know we play in a Sunday league, but there's some shocking challenges in the old firm.
Rangers vs Celtic on the 3rd of September. That's the day after the lad's birthday on Saturday.
Man. Yeah, that'd be mean.
That's
what
a
time's
good game.
that?
11 p.m.
Oh, wicked. Nah, that's perfect timing.
To be fair, sorry, Wintec, but maybe we won't be showing up on the Monday.
Shh.
Yeah, I'm joking.
General news, do you want to start a little bit about Inter Miami, what you've been seeing and what you think about what's going on there?
Yeah, Inter Miami. I just thought it'd be a cool thing to go into, Like, obviously, at least for the two of us, Messi, the undisputed GOAT of the sport.
Undisputed. There's no question there, is there?
Realistically, not anymore. I mean, after Messi's performance in the World Cup and now seeing what he's doing in the league straight away, I don't know. I just think Messi came in. I think he's played 8 games now.
Hasn't even played in the league yet, though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
It's all been cup games, and I think
cup games.
I think it's almost a tour after what he's done. You saw Pele go and do it at one point in his career, and I think it's just it's exposure. That's a huge one, and obviously Messi doesn't need exposure. He's a footballing icon. He's adored worldwide, unless you're a Ronaldo fan.
Oh, but they can get a grip, man.
But honestly, the exposure and what he's doing for the league is really important for American football, I think. American soccer. Inter Miami are bottom of the table in the MLS in their division, in the Eastern Division. So just being able to, and they're bottom in the entire rounding of all the teams. That's,
oh, man.
They're going to need to pull some strings. I don't think there's many games left in the league, though. I think they're nearing the end of it, and this is almost...
I think, do they play 28?
Is it 28?
And now they've played roughly 24, 25.
Yeah, I don't know if they can make the MLS playoffs, but he's got next season. The plan was just to get him in. And, And if they've won a trophy, they've brought so much more exposure to these cups that they play in. I saw an American fan going on about it, saying no one cared about these league cups before this. They were almost just a waste of time, like a random cup in the middle of the season. Now it's almost becoming like they want to watch knockout games mid-season, and it brings into the traditional football style where there are knockout tournaments during the season, whereas the MLS has their regular post-season playoffs, like it's in basketball or the NFL, which is a strange way to do it. I know it's done in the A-League as well, but it's not very traditional, and it's interesting to see how that'll go and even how Messi performs in that next season. So say Inter Miami will perform better next season and they make this MLS playoff at the end of it, it'll be quite interesting to see how he plays throughout a whole season of playing games and then hitting playoffs and having to take it up another level. I know it's not really taking it up another level for Messi, but
for the team.
It's his teammates around him.
I'm just reading an article now that's saying, because obviously part of the Messi deal, he had some sort of partnership with Apple.
Yeah.
Because there's the, Apple have the MLS season pass. They've got some sort of connection.
He gets a percentage of the sales,
Yeah. But it's saying in an article released last week that the 3 most watched games ever on the MLS season pass was when Messi joined, and those were for cup games. As you just said, they had no recognition really before. No one watched them.
That sheds a bit of light on what they're trying to do and how they're trying to up the league. And I think it's slowly making its way into it, and I think it's a little bit of a nicer watch than the Saudi league almost, just because it's being promoted with these high-level players, and it's not just dumping money on players and going, come here, we're giving you all of this instantly. There's no real competition to the league. Because you look at some of the players that are surrounding Ronaldo or Neymar, and it's just like, and there's so much going on there. Like, there's constantly reports coming out about like what's happening, struggles with things. Like the Celtic player Jota, who went over, is gone already.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and nothing's come out about why he's left.
That's saying something, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd.
I also think it's just because the MLS has obviously had more like viewership and recognition than the Saudi League for years. Yeah. Like, it's not a small league by any means.
No, and it's Americans, and it's growing there, and the crowds are cool. Like, there's some really cool things on in the MLS, and I think it'll gain more after this next World Cup, the co-hosted one with USA, Canada, and Mexico. Yeah. That's going to be very cool. Like, we'll be at a good age at that point where we might even be able to afford to go over, and
exactly.
And that would be awesome. Like, you could go over there, watch all those games, and maybe even come a few weeks early, watch a couple of the MLS games. Like, there's so much potential for that. And I think if they do that properly, they can really extend the game over there. Because at the moment it doesn't compete with the NBA or the NFL, but there will be a point where it can. And
definitely.
What they're doing and the inroads they've made, they're doing the right thing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking the steps they need to, and I think, like, these first steps by bringing some of these players in. I mean, we haven't even mentioned, like, Busquets and Alba, who have also come in to, change this team.
Yeah, ridiculous footballing careers as well, and it's just so cool seeing those two together, back with Messi, and it's just, Busquets brings a lot of balance to the team, doesn't he?
Yeah, man, honestly, it's so cool to watch, and obviously, I couldn't say I really had much interest in the MLS before Messi, and I think, you know, even if you do start watching a league because of the player, like, it gets you to appreciate more than what you're used to.
Yeah,
I mean, we're both Premier League fans, and we are fans of other leagues, but I mean,
think it's just general football is nice to watch, and when it's done right, it's cool. And there's cool stories going on there at the moment.
Yeah.
Going back to the Premier League now, have you got the table up?
I will quickly whip that up now.
We'll have a brief little look at that, and then that might be us for our first episode.
Yeah.
We're looking at about 22 minutes, I think, we've got going.
Yeah.
Covered a lot, talked about some cool topics, and I think we've got a lot of potential for what we can keep doing here. So we're looking at
Brighton
at the
winning.
top, who are playing some unreal football.
Man.
I saw some stats about them earlier, and they're topping things. De Zerbi has done a lot since coming in. He had a messed up side from Potter, and he's completely revamped them. He's made them into what they are now, and he's going to be wanted. He's going to be wanted by clubs going forward. He plays an attractive brand of football. I don't know if it's Brighton scouting or if it's him having a little bit in that as well, but the players he has at his disposal, these young lads, like, it's wicked. It's really cool to see. And it'll be interesting to see how far they push this season.
I mean, I really think, given last season, I'll quickly look at, last season Brighton got 6th, so they secured European football.
Yeah.
And this year, I genuinely think if they continue this way and look as good as they do now, they could get higher than 6th. And that's saying, like, something huge.
They've only dismantled 2 pretty rubbish sides, but they've looked... It's not the way that they've beaten them, because if you're at that point as a club like that, like United scraped through. I'm a United fan, and we scraped through with a 1-0 win against Wolves. Didn't look great. Like, our preseason wasn't great, but there's no excuses for that. You've come into the Premier League, you need to be ready to play. Yeah. And Brighton were ready to play. They dismantled Wolves like they were a top side, and they are a top side.
Definitely, especially recent years, man. And I think, at least for me, instead of just being focused on kind of the bigger clubs in the league, you could say now it's like I'm fully invested in, like, every team and how they're performing. And with Brighton, like, people like Matoma and stuff just actually captivate you. They're, like, so cool to watch. Yeah, these young guys coming in.
Even sides like Villa now, they have brilliant footballers at their disposal. Like, Diaby is tearing it up. He looks to be a top player.
Bailey as well.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there are some jokes players out there. But then I think there's a little pack at the bottom that might be that might struggle. I think for me, who's going to get relegated, I think the 3 that have come up are going to go straight back down. And
That's fair.
that's hard because Burnley have only played 1 game and it was to City, and Luton have only played 1 and it was against Brighton.
Yeah. I genuinely think Everton are going to struggle.
Yeah, I think they will struggle as well.
I think they scraped through last season. They're probably going to have a hard season again, but I probably do have to agree. I just don't think Luton is the club that can stay up, No,
and I think it's rough because obviously they haven't had their stadium for the start. It looks like the stadium will be back in use in the next couple weeks, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's cool. It's a rocking little stadium. It is football. Like, that's purist. It's a beautiful little stadium. It's surrounded by homes, not great homes, but it's just a cool football stadium. And you need more stories like that in the Premier League and in football in general. So I think having that there is just special. But even making it to the Premier League is big for them. They weren't supposed to be here.
100%.
They weren't ready to be here, and they might not be. And we'll just see how the season goes for them. But yeah, I see that 5 down there, probably floating around there for the bottom for most of the season. Wolves are losing Mateus Nunes as well, which that's hard. That's going to be really difficult for them. And I think holding on to Cunha will be difficult for them as well.
Yeah.
He's a cracking player.
He'll get a signing.
Yeah, he had glimpses against Brighton. He had massive glimpses against United. He was tearing us apart through the middle most of the game.
Yeah.
Him and Nunes, losing them it's going to be hard for them, and that's why I do have them down there as well. But I kind of take back what I said about the bottom 3 being Burnley, Luton and Sheffield, but I think that bottom, what is that there? That bottom 5 will probably rotate.
No, bottom 6. You're reading it a bit wrong.
What, Chelsea there as well? Sorry, Kyle.
Chelsea in 15th, man. It can't be a repeat of last season.
Not in 12th, though. Well, we've got Forest coming up. Hopefully the debut for Højlund.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. But we're looking forward to the next weekend of games, to be honest. There's a lot of footy for us this weekend. We've got all these games on to watch. We've got the Phoenix game on Sunday. Beautiful time, by the way, 4 o'clock. Sit down with the bevy. Hopefully it's not passing down.
Yeah.
And as well as our game. We'll probably touch on that next week when we talk about our team.
Our league.
We could be absolutely chuffed and talking about how we won 4-0 and had a great game. Or we could be complaining about the fact we have 5 centre-backs to fill out our back line of 4, including people who haven't played football before. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So I think that's us. That's our first episode done and dusted. Good to get things going. Good little pilot episode with the cameras.
Yep.
So we'll just take it from here. We'll build on this. We'll get them up on socials. We've got a good starting point, I think.
Yep. Hopefully we'll be able to get everything edited well, and we've got Anna now and we've got Lockie. So we've got a little team going. Hopefully it can be successful and see where it goes.
Yeah, and just keep going up.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Cheers for listening.